guys, it's Fred. Thanks for joining me. This is a gentleman that done some videos on me. He'd taken a comment I had made on my Facebook page as a joke, or on a YouTube video as a joke about having dementia because I couldn't remember somebody's name or something, but irrelevant. After that, I started inquiring. Some of you may remember, I'm not going to put his name out. I'm not going to give him a plug because he's so dying for attention that I'm just not going to give it to him. I know he wants clicks, he wants views, he wants subscribers, he wants to be somebody. He's not, in my opinion. My point is, Sheila's not here, but I can feel her beating me to death, so try to watch. This is a sad person. He's a sad individual, and I'm going to let you see why. In this video that I've got coming up, I'm going to let you see why. I asked about this fella. I posted his picture, and I said, who is this? This has been a month or two ago. It's been a while back. Does anybody know this person? Who is he? What's his credentials? What's his background? Because this guy had a YouTube channel, and he had hundreds of videos. I don't know how many, but he had several videos of him shooting rifles and pistols and semi-automatics and gun after gun after gun. He says he's planting seeds. He calls the bullets seeds, and time to plant some seeds and so forth. And I'm Second Amendment all the way, guys. Everybody should be able to carry, but you should be legal in carrying. And my question was to this guy, because I hadn't seen nothing where he worked or had a job or nothing, and I said, is this man on Social Security? Is he drawing disability? Is he on medication that where anything at all would connect or be a red flag, as Baldwin calls them, a red flag, as far as him being in possession of that many firearms or shooting that many firearms? Has anybody checked with the ATF? What's the background? What's the deal of this individual? Because he was on that channel and he's just bashing. Guys, I don't care if you're pro Buford pusser or not. I don't care about Buford pusser. I care about people being misjudged, mischaracterized, unlawfully accused of committing a crime, especially murder, but any crime. I take up for anybody that has been falsely accused without due process, and especially when they're dead, 58 years after something happened, and they're dead, and the person happens to be famous, and everybody's got everything to gain except him. Everybody has got name recognition from just being associated with Buford pusser. I'm not a Buford pusser fan. I was never a big Buford pusser fan. Saw the movie in '73, that's it. Sheila's never saw, to this date, never saw the movie. Got ready to rent it a couple weeks ago. I said, you never seen it? She said, no. I said, well, watch it. We brought it up on YouTube, or I forget what that channel is. It wasn't YouTube, it was something else, and it's $12 or $13 to watch it. And I said, forget that. It ain't worth that to watch. So we're not pusser fans. We're law fans, criminal justice system fans, fans of rights, equal rights for everybody, equal. This man, he says, you'll hear it in a minute because I'm going to play you the video and then we'll go from there on that. But this guy has a slogan on there. It's a Marine Corps slogan: improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's connected to the Marines. Not that anybody can't use it, but he uses that. as if he's a Marine. And then he had all these gun videos. After I asked these questions, was he on the draw? Was he disabled? Was he... He wrote back and he says that he's a security guard. He says he's not on Social Security. He says he's not a convicted felon. That was one of my questions. Was he a convicted felon? Now, I took him at his word. I took him at his word that he's not on disability. He's not on medication of no kind that would influence him possessing or shooting firearms like he is. And I took him at his word. Well, I noticed this video somebody had sent me yesterday that he posted on Buford and Pauline, and I'll discuss it when we switch over to it. But he started a new page. He's got a new channel on YouTube. What happened to his old channel? Or maybe some of the questions that I asked was relevant to him and him having these guns and firing these guns. And I still don't know. I don't know if there's a reason dealing with Social Security. I don't know if there's a reason dealing with having in possession firearms. I don't know that. And you can't get any information because he's got 6 or 8 frivolous Facebook and YouTube accounts. Why does a person need frivolous accounts? What are you hiding? What are you doing? I mean, that maybe he's not doing nothing. Maybe totally innocent. But as a, all these people want to advertise as the police officers and all this and that, but I won't even go there. I'll just say as a human being, it raises my curiosity. It raises my curiosity. Why once I started questioning his ability to have and acquire and shoot firearms like he was. Anybody recognizes the name, don't put it out there. Let's don't plug the guy. Not yet anyway. Not until some other stuff is checked out. But some of you, a lot of you know who I'm talking about on these Buford Pusser pages. Now, I don't know if there's anything wrong, but it's a clue. It's what I would call a clue if I was investigating somebody as to why he changed YouTube channels. He didn't have but like 3,000 on the other channel. On this new channel, he don't have but 200. And he's wanting viewers and subscribers so bad, and he wants to go off of anybody else that he can, and I understand that. I know how it works. But let's switch over to the video that he played here. Let's go to this. Now, I'm not going to click on that just yet. I'll tell you a little history on that. The history on that is that somebody made that for us, and they put it on a Buford Pusser page because Mike Elam has got this slogan, truth has no agenda. Well, Mike Elam has an agenda. He sells books. He makes money from tours or donations. He has a podcast. He makes money from this. He makes money and has been making money from slandering Buford Pusser and his family for years. He's made money from that and still making money from it. So somebody made us this little AI thing here. I'm going to play for you. I wouldn't believe that somebody could be this, I don't want to use that word. Let me just play the video. I'm going to stop this throughout.
I'll show you a 3-second clip. I'll probably show it to you a few times, but this is a 3-second clip that the Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures YouTube page put out to prove one of their points in one of their videos where they were attacking another author.
To prove one of their points when they were attacking another author. He's talking about either Mike Elam or Oakley Baldwin. This is one of their supporters. This is one of their Kool-Aid drinkers, and that's fine, guys. I don't care who drinks the Kool-Aid. I just want both sides to be out there. Let's put the facts out. First of all, I don't attack anybody. If he wants to call it an attack, he can. I know what an attack is, and what I do is not an attack. What Sheila and I try to do is prove something did or didn't happen with proof. Not by sitting at a desk and speaking it in the history or writing it in a book and saying, there it is, you've got to believe it. And then there are idiots out there that actually believe anything they're told. You're going to see that a little bit here when he talks about, that's not Buford's voice, that's not Pauline. This guy actually thinks that they was trying to act like this was Buford and Pauline, like he didn't know. My Lord, I don't know how people, maybe there is a reason for people to be. Let's let it play. I'm going to stop it then I'll play the whole thing again at the end in full so you can hear it, but I want to stop as I go through it and point things out.
Now, Fred McCoy, even though he says he's not attacking anyone, he's not putting anyone down, anyone who...
Guys, I don't try to put anyone down. I don't attack anybody. I go after the truth with proof. That's what we do. If you get mad because we show you a document or article or a falsified statement, if you get mad at us for that, then that's on you. We don't attack nobody. That's not what it's about. It's about truth with proof.
Who sought justice for Pauline Mullins-Pusser after 58 years. Anyone who did anything to help the TBI or push the TBI, push Markey.
Whoa, what a word. What a word to use. Pushed. If you get mad at somebody because they pushed the TBI, I guess he's referring to Mike Elam and Oakley Baldwin, because Oakley Baldwin said he called last week there and said, oh, hurry up and get the results out. Just tell the family if nothing else. But yet he had a book ready to come out 2 weeks later. His book was ready for release. Had nothing to do with that, though. But Fred attacks anybody that gets mad because they were pushing the TBI. What law enforcement agency do we know of in the whole United States that you can push? How in the world did these guys push the TBI into doing what they did? Well, they did. He's telling a fact there. They were pushed, and they fell right into the hook, line, and sinker because they went ahead and followed through with these two guys' books, fabricated books, nothing more than rumors, but let's go on.
Davidson's office into solving Pauline Mullins-Pusser's murder in this 58-year-old cold case.
Oh, they solved it. They solved this 58-year-old cold case. Let's see if they solved it with evidence, like anybody else would be required to do if the person was alive and well where he could stand trial. See, they knew this case was never going to trial. There's no need for witnesses. There's no need for evidence. There's no need because he's dead. We just got to, but let's go on.
Which they announced on August 29th, 2025, that Buford was the chief suspect, and were he alive today, he would be indicted, most likely for Pauline's murder. Now, that's as far as you can go with a cold case where the suspect is dead, and they went as far as they could go. Now, Fred seems set on attacking anybody who believes that Buford was...
Guys, I don't care how nobody believes. This is America. That's what I'm standing up for as a dead man. It's America. You can believe anything you want. You don't get attacked because you're believing. You're upset because we're proving these allegations and these reports and these statements, and there's more to come. And besides that, there's a court case that this young fella here is probably going to end up involved in himself. When it's all said and done, I think he's probably going to be one of those listed So he'll get his chance to prove what he says in court. We prove it on videos. We keep copies of everything, and we'll prove it in court. We have no problem with that. The thing that some people don't understand is court is a little bit different in front of a jury and a judge than it is posting something on YouTube. It's a little bit different. You may have to prove what you're saying in court.
Pauline's killer. Anyone who agrees with what the TBI and Mark E. Davidson's office says. Now, I admit there's some problems with the investigation. There's some problems with the file. Not all of it, but most of the evidence in there is circumstantial and hearsay. But there is a ton of it that's circumstantial and hearsay that proves that Buford was her killer. So,
guys, you don't convict people of murder, especially dead people, on circumstantial and hearsay. I don't care if you've got a coal truck load of it. He says there's circumstantial. There's some problems with the case. Yeah, it's circumstantial and hearsay, but there's so much of it. There's so much circumstantial and hearsay that it has to prove that he's guilty. There's so much of it because Mike Elam has been out there for 20 years speaking it and writing it into history. And then a couple of years ago, he was joined by a sidekick, Oakley Baldwin, who done the same thing through Facebook, through YouTube. It doesn't matter how much circumstantial, how much rumors and hearsay, it doesn't make it true. It doesn't give a person their day in court. It doesn't give a person due process. You need witnesses. You need evidence. You need proof. Not circumstantial is not proof, sir. That's it. And that just shows the person's IQ, especially as far as the criminal justice system is concerned. But when I'm going to go ahead and start looking into this again, I had dropped it, but I want to know if this person, hopefully there's somebody out there that dealing with Social Security and different things that knows whether this young man draws a disability check from Social Security and is on medication, whether it's mental or physical, if he's not able to work. He says he's a security guard. I haven't seen nothing on that. I haven't seen that on his Facebook. That's what he told me. Now, Mike Elam and Baldwin says that this man right here killed his wife. Don't make it true. So even though he told me he's a security guard and he's a martial artist and he's all these different things, I have a feeling that he's about like Mike Elam and could probably blow up an onion sack. But that's just my opinion. Let's go on.
You've only got circumstantial evidence and hearsay on both sides because most of the physical evidence.
Guys, you don't need circumstantial or anything on the other side. Buford Pusser is innocent until proven guilty. Nobody has to prove Buford Pusser innocent. It's the state that has to prove him guilty. Now, I cut him off too soon there because he said, I know a lot of it's circumstantial and hearsay, and they've lost the evidence. Yeah, isn't that something? He's wanting to convict this man of murder, and TBI's lost the evidence. They've lost the files. Listen, let's go on.
It was lost, except for some of the crime pictures. But I'm going to play.
Except for some of the crime pictures. See, this man's not smart enough to figure out. I'm sorry to insult. I'm sorry to do that. But he's just not smart enough to figure out that if you lost the file in 1976, or the file hasn't been seen since 1976, the clothing, the bullets, the spent casings, the blood samples, anything, the file itself hasn't been seen since 1976. How did these statements come up that they say is Buford Pusser's or they say is Jim Moffitt's? How? And he says the only thing they had is the pictures. How would they have the pictures? Were they in a separate file? Were they in a picture drawer? How did they do that? They didn't. Those pictures were gone also. They didn't have these pictures. The TBI lost their pictures. The TBI, in my opinion, either went and got their photographs out of the books, 12th of August, or the other guy that wrote books on Buford Pusser. They got their pictures from those books, or more than likely, they probably went to the local newspaper. The newspapers, they take photographs. They got some of the best photographs and photograph equipment there is out there. They could have went to a television station. But if they lost the file, sir, they've lost the pictures. The pictures would have been in that file. So once again, you're misunderstanding, but I don't want it to seem like I'm attacking you, surely just because you don't know your butt from a hole in the ground, in my opinion.
This clip, I think it's very disturbing.
This clip is very disturbing. This man takes insult to this clip that somebody took the time to make for Sheila and I, but this man feels it's very disturbing. No, I'll tell you what's disturbing is seeing a man on hundreds of videos, I don't know the accurate count, on many, many videos, shooting guns and talking like he wants to plant seeds. That is what is disturbing to me. This photograph's not going to hurt nobody. What this fella, what I seen on his YouTube channels, that's what's disturbing. And he must have had enough sense to realize that maybe other people might think it was disturbing too, because he has now, anybody that knows this man, you can go to his channel. Go to his channel and look at it. Go to his old channel and look at it. Now that's disturbing, because what is the reason? That is a clue that something is not right.
And it just touches the nerve with me. I don't like it. I think it's very disturbing.
Truth with proof. Isn't that right, Buford?
Absolutely, Pauline.
Truth with proof. Isn't that right, Buford?
Absolutely, Pauline.
Truth with proof. Isn't that right, Buford?
Absolutely, Pauline.
Now he says here that that's not Buford's voice or Pauline. Wow, guys, who would have thought you'd have to put a disclaimer on? Yeah, I guess he's got us there, or he's probably right. That's probably not Pauline and Buford. I'm sorry somebody didn't put a disclaimer out there that says, that's like putting a note on a stove that says hot, don't touch, or don't eat them little things that's in medicine bottles, or little things that's in packages that you get that keeps the moisture out. Don't eat those things. You have to have a warning to not. Some people needs that. Some people's got to have a warning. Some people, I guess, this is one of them.
Okay, folks, you saw it. It's kind of amazing what AI can do these days. It's also kind of disturbing. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that was not Buford's voice or Pauline's voice. It didn't sound anything like them.
He never heard Pauline, but he knows that's not Pauline's voice. See, he just knows that. No proof that it is. We know that it's not, but who would even be discussing something as minute and stupid as knowing that this is an old picture that's AI voiced over? Can you believe that this man actually wants attention that bad?
I heard Pauline speak. I know that's not what she sounded like, being from Virginia and then later Kentucky. Buford, I've heard.
She's from Virginia and Kentucky and Chicago and Adamsville, Tennessee.
Speak several times on interviews, and that didn't sound nothing like it. But
okay, guys, you heard it firsthand. He's heard Buford Pusser speak on several interviews firsthand. It didn't sound nothing like Buford Pusser. It's a sad that on those interviews that he's listening to, when Buford Pusser talks about the car pulling up beside of him and opening fire, when Buford Pusser's telling in his own voice things that happened to him during that ambush, it's a shame that he didn't pay more attention to that. Rather than that, he goes and listens to what Mike Elam has either typed up or somebody's typed up over the years, and they read it as Buford Pusser's statement.
it is what it is. Folks, I'm going to show you a 3-second clip.
He starts over there, guys. It's a short, and I didn't get it cut off in time, so he's going to show you a 3-second clip and let you know that that's not Buford and Pauline speaking. Now, that's not the big deal to me. The big deal to me is, anybody knows this guy here, and there's many of you that does, because he's been kicked off several Facebook pages, I find out now. See, guys, again, I've never been on these Facebook pages. I've never been a fan or a foe of Buford Pussers. But we're on there now because people shares our videos and what we put out there as proof. And this was very sweet. I forget the people's names, I'm sorry. Maurice Atkinson, I believe it is, that made this for us. Very kind of them. We love it. Truth with proof. What better comment could you want? What better comment for two people that's in the grave that have been falsely accused? She's been falsely accused of being a stripper by Mike Elam. She's been falsely accused that possibly had an illegitimate child by somebody other than her husband. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe, Baldwin said. Very disrespectful to a dead woman. Very disrespectful to anybody. But they said it, but yet they say they want justice for Pauline. Is it justice for Pauline, or is it book sales for their books? You all be the judge. I think it speaks for itself. And justice for Pauline. How about justice for Buford? How about justice for both of them? How about justice by proving your case rather than allegations? We got some videos coming up here, guys, on these reports people send us that we're just now getting to look over, and you're going to be astonished at what you. Let me throw him up there one more time. There he is. There he is. Let's wonder whether this man is a convicted felon. I don't know that he is or not. I don't know that. I don't know that he's on Social Security for a disability. If he's, Social Security has got many disability checks that they do. They've got retirement. I'm on Social Security. I'm almost 70 years old, so that comes with it at 65. But there's also other things that you can get on Social Security for if you've got some kind of an issue or a problem. And I'm going back to that. He wanted his 15 minutes. I've gave him 29 here. I've gave him 29 minutes. We'll let him share it with Mike Elam and Oakley Baldwin. That's what he likes, and that's fine. I thought this guy was going to be somebody that would look at the beginning there. I thought this man will look at the truth. This man will look at proof, and he even emailed me one time and said, "You're right. I've seen a lot of," and he talks about Baldwin, and not Baldwin, but Davison and this and that about the case, how screwed up it is, and Warren Jones. He said Warren Jones wanted to date. I've got the email. He said Warren Jones had a thing for Buford Pusser's wife. Now, that's what he told me in an email. I don't know how he gets that. I don't know where he gets that from, but that's what he told me in an email, that Warren Jones was after Pauline or had dated Pauline or whatever he said. There's something to that effect. I don't have that here with me, but it is in fact, when I get off here, I will go take a snapshot of that and save it, which most of my stuff, when it comes in, is saved anyway, so I'll always have it. But he wants to get upset because he says it's very upsetting to him because somebody made a video, but he says Warren Jones. That's the reason Warren Jones and Pusser didn't like each other, because Warren Jones had either dated or wanted to date or something. I don't know that. That's up to the Warren Jones family. I've got the email if you decide you want to talk to this guy here about it. But that's what he said, and that's how rumors get started. That's Mike Elam, Oakley Baldwin. They talk them, they speak them, they write them into history, and they make them. Now, did I come out and put that email out there? Did I come out there and say, this guy said this guy said that? Now, guys, been long enough. Catch you on the next one.